Do you rock? Most people enjoy a good story. Imagine a story where you rock. I challenge you to make the difference in the world and then share your story to inspire, bring hope, and encouragement to others. Together, let us create a better, more peaceful world. Let's not just imagine world peace. Let's work for it. Are you doing something rocking in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, or the world? I would love to have you on my show to share your rocking stories. We are here with Cecilia Elizabeth, a professional fine artist. Welcome.
Thank you, Marion. I'm happy to be here today.
Well, I'm happy to have you on my show. And let's talk about how you became an artist. What was your start?
Well, I'm in my 60s now, and I started way back in high school. I'm not going to do the math, but quite some time ago. And I was in high school wondering what I was going to do after grade 12. And a friend of mine said, well, why don't you take some art classes? So I took some art classes, didn't know at all what I was doing. Took some commercial art, became a sign designer. I designed many signs in Saskatoon. There's only one existing now.
Where is that?
It's on 20th Street in this Fix-It shop, and it's not the best sign I ever did, but it's the one that lasted forever. And then I worked for T-shirt companies and designed things like crests for jackets and stuff like that. And I worked for neon companies and designed storefronts. I was always interested in art. Actually, my grade 1 teacher that I run into occasionally, she said I was always interested in art. So if you believe God-given talent, I've got a talent that I developed. So I took many years of professional classes from professionals throughout Saskatchewan, where they'd come up from the States and teach us. And one day somebody said to me, how would you like to teach us what you're learning? So I said, okay, and started instructing. I never thought of myself as a teacher. And then one day, all of a sudden, I thought, holy cow, I'm an instructor. I've been doing that since about 1974.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, I bought an old house, an old fixer-upper, to convert it into the Riverhouse Art Gallery, where I teach now and do my own art.
So tell us about what kinds of things you teach at your classes.
Well, that's a good example. I brought an example for you, Mary, and this is a watercolor. I teach my weekly classes in watercolor. On weekends, I teach the tile on ink and also acrylic. So those are the 3 mediums that I really like to teach and instruct. I do Saturday workshops and weekly classes, September to June. So I'm really truly a teacher because I have their schedule and I take the summer off.
Well, I really believe that if you have a talent, you should develop it and share it with the world. So you're doing that through your classes. So how do people sign up for your classes, or how do they find out about them?
Oh, I am jumping into social media. I have a social media girl that helps me out, Jenny. She's great. She got me a website. We're working on that. It's www.riverhousegallery.com. I'm on Facebook under Riverhouse. I'm on Instagram, and I email out messages to my students 3 times a year to let them know. And word of mouth is absolutely the best advertising. And I'm very busy. I can tell you now that this fall, Tuesday at 1 o'clock is a full class. I take small classes, 6 people only.
Okay.
So you get lots of individual attention.
Okay. So what kinds of things do you focus on in your classes?
The beginners, I call them totally terrified. I teach them how to do clouds, I teach them how to do trees, I teach them how to do grass, and then we all put it together and we'll do a small painting at their level. And then I teach them flowers, how to blend, how to make flowers look 3-dimensional. My big goal is to make my paintings look like they pop right off the painting. I like to really teach them depth and focus.
And they're beautiful paintings. I have a couple of your paintings at home. So
thank you.
Yeah, they are beautiful paintings. So is there a cost for your classes?
Yes, my classes this year come fall. I teach a 10-week session. It's $200. My students think that it's not overpriced. They really like coming back. I've had people come back for 3 or 4 years in a row, 3 times a year, a very faithful following, and they always told me that my price was too low, so I put it up this year to $200. across the board, beginners and intermediates, same one price. The beginners need to buy a kit. I sell them wholesale for $45.
Okay.
Easy to get started. You get your own supplies and you're helped individually. 3-hour classes, $200, 10 weeks, 30 hours.
Oh, so that's
If
wonderful.
you do the math, that's not expensive.
No, it's
per
not
hour.
expensive at all. And so you have the beginners and the intermediates, so some of your students advance to the next class and the
Yes,
next
they
level?
do.
Yes.
Like I said, they've been with me 3 or 4 years, some people. So they've probably taken 10 different sessions, 300 hours. And that's what they'd be up to now. And the advanced intermediates would be painting something. That's a sample of a demo that we did last fall.
So let's talk about you as an artist and what kinds of things inspire you? What do you draw and what kinds of things, how do you create?
That's a good question. First of all, let's start with my mission statement.
Okay.
My mission statement is to bring joy into the world through my art.
Oh, that's a wonderful
Whether I'm
mission
teaching,
statement.
whether I'm creating, I'm a creative person. I do everything creatively. So my yard, my friend said the other day, it's like an art installation. I have a wonderful flower garden that inspires me to do flowers. I was coming through downtown just yesterday and I looked up and I thought, oh, I got to take a picture of those clouds. And I thought, oh no, I'm driving. I can't get my camera out. And so I'm in the dilemma of, do I use my cell phone or not? And have the guy beside me beep. So nature inspires me.
Okay.
My parents were nature lovers. And I got that love of nature from them. And I've always really loved the look of wet rocks or the fluffy clouds. I really have been teaching myself how to see depth, how to be focused on a particular item and make it look realistic but very interesting with an abstract background. Similar like these trees, they look like trees, but if you look close, they're kind of very abstracty. So a combination right now, and I'm messing around with mixed media. It was lots of fun.
And so what's mixed media?
Well, I went to Vancouver and my sister said, here, look and see what the stuff I'm messing around with. And she had some paints and I didn't even know what they were. And so I bought some and not knowing what they were, brought them home, did what she did. And then I looked at the bottle and I think they're ceramic paints. And so I threw that in with some oils and some acrylic. And I'm doing abstracts that are mixed media. So it's everything I have in the gallery, and I had some alcohol ink, so I threw some of that on there. I said, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what it looks like, and let's see if it peels off. So that's the fun part for me, to be very creative to do that.
And you do a beautiful job. So how do you start? Do you pencil it out first, or you just
Well, let's put that in 2 parts.
Okay.
If I was teaching you, Marion, because we have 6 people and we want to paint, we don't want to draw. And if I don't give you a pattern to follow, it's not going to be equal opportunity. So I'll give everybody the same pattern. You'll trace it. I'll teach you how to paint that. For myself, I will draw a pattern myself because I've discovered that if I mess the painting up and I spent 30 hours drawing it, I don't want to spend another 30 hours drawing it.
Yes.
So I will make a master plan, trace that. So I'd be inspired by, I really like that sky, but I like that field. No, maybe I should put an elevator in there, or the old new bridge, whatever it is, the steel bridge, off the 19th there. That inspired me. So last year, before they tore it down, I took photographs of that.
Oh, good for you.
And I took it from different points of view, and I thought, oh, great, there's a sculpture in front of this, and I should include that. So I work from photographs and memory. But I do work from reference material, because if I was to tell you to paint a certain kind of flower, you wouldn't remember what it really looked like, how many petals it had, how many kind of leaves it had. So we like to use reference material and make our own compositions.
Oh, that's a wonderful way of doing art, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're trying to make it accurate and realistic then.
Yes.
Would you be classified as a realistic artist? Or?
Definitely realistic.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Somebody came to visit the gallery today. He said, oh, I like your abstracts. And those were just messing around, having fun. And then I realized it's not that easy. It's not just throwing paint to the canvas. How long do you leave it wet and all kinds of things. So I think there's always a process of growing. I know over the years, when I look at my stuff from 30 or 40 years ago, it's different than it is now. It's more advanced, it's more mature. It's more, I'm not going to say detailed, it's more refined.
Okay.
And but at the same time, it's got a feeling that it's artsy, the artsy fartsy. This isn't a photograph, it's a rendering of that scene. So I like it to keep it look inspiring to you. Say, oh yeah, that's an old barn on a creek. So the idea is, how do I make that creek bubbling looking? So that's what I'll teach you in your classes, is the tricks on how to do that.
So anyone can come, like for myself, I can't draw. Stick people are probably about all I can handle, but doesn't matter. You can teach me to draw?
That's right. But I'll put you in a beginner class with everybody else so that you're all in the same level, because we as beginners don't want to be with the intermediates. It's intimidating. So I keep the totally terrified together, and they are totally terrified.
Yes, I could relate to that.
That's right. So, and they think it's fun when I call them totally terrified. And they come, especially the evening classes. It's a great place to spend 3 hours. And they say, I really had a tough day at work. I come here, you've got music playing. I'm totally thinking about only what we're doing here. It's relaxing. Boy, I'm ever glad I came. It's a real reprieve from the busy day. Yes, I can teach you how to enjoy the process of making art.
So it's a safe environment.
It's very safe.
Well, I'm very happy about that. And who knows, maybe down the road when I finish writing books, I might come and learn how to draw.
My neighbor was an artist. She got to be an artist because she lived next door to me. And now she's a writer, so you probably know her too. Now she's in the writing, which is a creative world, right?
Yes.
So we have I live in Riversdale. Interesting place to live, because the house I live in, I'm the third or fourth artist that's lived there.
Okay.
So it's very peaceful, quiet. Walk in the gallery. I might be working on a piece. You can walk through the gardens. Now that I have my own gallery, I can work at home. I'm really happy at the stage of my life. Like I said, I'm in my 60s, and I can just sit back and do what I want to do and create the art I want to create, not with any great expectations that I might sell a lot, because if I got into the huge sales, I might have to work harder than I do.
Well, I'm interested to talk about your Riverhouse gallery, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll be right back.